I'm in a really bad position right now. And I burrowed my queens just in case, you know. Just in case they need to be burrowed instead of injecting. Inject! Inject! Why are you burrowed? Oh, that's why. I thought I burrowed the infestor, but I burrowed my queen. Again, why? What is happening? I'm just all frazzled right here. He did a really good job of not overcommitting. He sent a group of Marines in to take out all the tumors and whatnots. I tried to time it so that he would unsiege, but in fact he was all sieged up. My 2-2 just finished. I think I was timing it for that too. Since he killed that creep, and I waited a little bit, and I saw these two unsiege, I thought that all of these would unsiege so that he can move up. And that's a really good thing for Zerg to do, is to watch and wait for the unsiege and then move in. But even despite all that bad positioning and everything, a couple fungals, banelings, roaches clean this up pretty nicely. Wasting some banelings on tanks like a pro. And I don't have speedlings to follow, but I do have my roaches just to pick some marines off. He does have his one attack done. I'm taking a fourth. This is going to be very hard to saturate at this distance though. Keeping up on the injects, I got a queen for my macro hatch. And I'm going to try to finish him off here, but it's just a little too much. This would have been such a good pickup to just run in here. But I don't. I could have ran half of these in and done a lot of economic damage. I'm just trying to contain him so that I can properly saturate this fourth. Good injects. Meanwhile, I'm throwing up a spire and a hive. If you start them both at the same time, they'll finish at the same time, so you can start your greater spire right when your regular spire finishes. And I'm finally starting to do this where I just scout around for some kind of ninja fourth or third, and would have been better. I could have done so much damage. This is good that I'm watching this. Just run in some speedling baneling. When I had him contained like this, he had nothing up here, nothing to defend it. I could have done so much damage. The game would have been over then probably. But I see him trying to greedily take the gold. And I know that he's out of position, so I run in with the speedlings and force to cancel. He's just now 1-1 and I'm 2-2 on my ground. A bit of lag there. I did see this scan. That's why I threw down these spines, just in case he tries some kind of weird drop. That wouldn't be weird at all. Just in case he tries to drop or to run in with, I don't know, 6 marines or something, just so that I have enough time to get there to defend. Because being denied past your third, being denied those expansions are very detrimental to Zerg. My hive's done. I started my greater spire just like I said. And at the same time I'm making corruptors. It's not the most perfect timing, but once you start your greater spire, you should just get some corruptors so that you don't forget, and then have the greater spire done but not any corruptors to turn into broodlords. So just review that. Start your hive right when you start your spire, and then when the hive finishes, your spire will be done so you can start your greater spire. And then once that's done, make some corruptors right away just so that you don't forget. I have the watchtower so I can actually see this, and I move out before he can siege. He's at the edge of my creep. He's going to siege up pretty soon to take out these tumors. So I saw that he was on siege and I just moved right in. Clumped up his marines nicely for me. And even though all I have are 5 infestors, all he has are 4 tanks and 9 marines. So it's just a really good trade-off, as you can see in the supply count. And I have my supply ceiling higher, so that if I need to reinforce, I can immediately. Broodlords are just about ready to start. This is his last little bit here. His tanks, again, hit him before he's sieged. and it's just over. I have too much tech, and he's stuck on tank marine with one medevac the whole game. He asks here what he did wrong, and I really didn't know, because he did the economic damage, he killed my third, he expanded, he got good saturation, you know, I'm just barely ahead on the income. Now that I'm watching this replay, he wasn't spending at all whatsoever. You know, he ends up with 3 armories. Or no, those are ghost academies. He needed that ghost tech a while ago to shut down my infestor play. If that's what he was going for, he had the resources for it a long time. His gas was late. He has 1 harvester. He's oversaturated. Mostly just spending. He only has, let's see, 3, 4, 5 barracks and 3 factories, and we're exactly 20 minutes into the game. Terran, if you have this many resources, you need to be throwing down shit left and right. Barracks, block this off with barracks so that speedlings can't run in after they break it down. Throw up factories, do whatever you need to get this down, because that's a big problem. If you have that many resources, it's not as bad for Zerg, because if you have the amount of macro hatches that you need, you can just build an army right away and spend it all right away. But with Terran, that's not true. They have to train all of their units individually. So you need a lot of production facilities. If you see this, this is a very bad sign for Terran to get to see. Upgrades also, they were very late. I was almost 2-2 before he was 1-1. And he scanned this and he didn't try to shut it down, you know? He could have gotten a medevac and tried to drop or something. He just didn't harass enough. So I'd say what he did wrong was getting stuck on marine tank, and that's a very common problem for Terran because it's so effective. But once the Zerg know how to defend it with Speedling Baneling early into Broodlord and Fester Speedling Baneling, it's just over. It's too much tech on the Zerg's part for tank marine to work in and of itself. So, I hope you guys learned something. Don't supply block yourself, or this would have been a much easier game for me to win, as well as having a macro hatch, especially if I'm making the conscious choice to go upgraded Speedling Baneling. You need a macro hatch. Even if you take a third, you should have a macro hatch. It doesn't hurt. And yeah, just keep up the upgrades with that build and wait for good positioning. Wait for him to unsiege. That's a very important skill to have as Zerg. So, it's been a replay from Normalisk. I hope you guys learned something.